So the Salvation Army is an organization that meets unmet needs in Jesus' name without discrimination. In every community we serve in, we're reflective of that community. So when there are gaps in needs, then the Salvation Army steps in when asked of the community.
It begins about 4:30 in the morning when we wake up our neighbors that have stayed overnight. We serve breakfast for our neighbors that are from the streets. Then it's cleaned up, and then we do breakfast for our residents, and then it's cleaned up, and then we do devotions. And all of that happens before 7:15 in the morning.
So what we do is we bring them in. I ask them a couple questions, just how are you questions, just to get a feel of where they're at this part of the month. And then it's a 17 quality of life questions that we go through. Any legal issues going on that will cause you to go to jail, pay court fines,
I hope not.
It's open from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Finding low-income housing is the biggest job, because we can clean someone up, we can get them employed, and we can even get them staying on the job. But if there's nowhere for them to go to once we do all of that, then it's like a revolving door, because then they're still in the shelter, still homeless, even though they're doing everything they can. They're working 40 hours a week, but still can't afford to get into housing. And I think once they get that opportunity, once we're able to give them that hope, we can see them blossom into do beautiful things.
They're not scary. People think that, they're gonna rob them and hurt them, and the majority of them are like teddy bears. They're really good people. They're either stuck in a situation where they ended up homeless, or they ended up as addicts, which they need help. They and they deserve the right to have some place to live and to be fed, and they're human beings just like everybody else is. We feed 700 plus meals a day in-house here. I think the biggest challenge is fundraising. Most people want to see stuff. You know what I mean? They want an oven, but paper products, all the chemicals for the dish machine and all the cleaning products actually cost more than the food itself. That's the challenge, to get people to donate where there's not something that they can see.
Step Up is the middle section of our journey of hope. If you think of our services in terms of helping people who are at a point of crisis get on the incline so that they can build some self-sufficiency and dignity and independence, we're that middle ground. After shelter and housing, then we case manage, and we help people determine what it is that they want. So we case manage, we interact with them. Perhaps they get into a recovery program for substance abuse. Perhaps they go to Hope and Progress or street teams to focus on employment. So we have a variety of avenues and options for folks, but a lot of it has to do with self-determination on the part of the client, and also their willingness to participate and be active and engaged in that process of going from that crisis point up to where they want to be with dignity and independence.
The main focus is to move people from homelessness to house. We have our emergency financial assistance program that helps with moving people in. It helps with light bills, water bills, food. There's all kinds of different things that happen with emergency financial assistance, and that's this office right here. Then there's the family dorm, where it's an emergency shelter for families, single parents, married parents, couples that have children together. They can stay in our family dorm. We have 9 units for families there.
And then we do a tremendous amount of homeless prevention, which people rarely see. Last year was was a bit over $2 million that was used to help people stay in their homes. So we do varied services, and thankfully to the courtesy of the community. And our goal is to either change lives or save lives, and sometimes quite literally.